Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Hamdan yuwafi ni'mahu wa yukafi mazida. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin wa sahabati ghuril mayamin wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير صدق الله مولانا العظيم. My most respected and honored ulama millat Islamiyya, my honorable brothers, my elders, my mothers and sisters who are listening, first and foremost, without taking too much of your time, and keeping in mind that this particular gathering has been put together in very short notice, but on a very important matter, inshallah, just trying to stick to the point. We are, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, in which means there will come a time where living your life as a believer will be as if to walk around with burning coal in your hands. We are living in those times. We are facing such atrocities globally, where as a nation, as an ummah, as a community, if we still remain in a state of ghafla, in a state of heedlessness, then it won't be long where people who were born in Muslim households will start turning away from the deen, and we are seeing this happen. We are seeing this happen day in, day out. I'm sure the ulama, the imam here, and myself included, we receive messages daily via email and WhatsApp and Snapchat and through other means, whatever means, where youngsters are questioning Islam themselves. Mainly, the main reason stems from activities that are taking place globally, where questions that are being raised by non-Muslims, Muslims themselves fall into a state of doubt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect me and you. Allah protect our iman. This particular issue regarding Masjid Al Aqsa is not something that we as a Muslim community have decided to speak about or be very vocal about or protest for because we have nothing else to do. Because this is part and parcel, Masjid Al Aqsa is part and parcel of Islam, of Iman and Ihsan itself. It is part and parcel of something what we call faith. It is part of our faith. Masjid Al Aqsa, if you've never been, I take this opportunity sincerely to say to you, my brethren, as opposed to taking time out and going to Dubai or going to Spain, or going for a 2-week Butlins holiday somewhere, or a package holiday, wasting your money that Allah has given you, spend it in His way and go and visit Masjid Al Aqsa. If we are sincere to the cause of Masjid Al Aqsa and the Muslims of Palestine, if we are sincere, then we would want to be with them. We would want to see the way that they are living. How much more are we going to be sitting in our houses, having a 5-10 minute bout of emotion and then nothing comes from it? We should be that community about which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, in which means that this ummah is one body, and if one part of the body gets hurt, the whole body is affected. We should be those people. Many of you here, the faces I can see here, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you physically and spiritually. But you are in a state where you are able to travel. People like me find it slightly difficult now because of health reasons and what have you, but we still do it. Twice a year we're still going. When I say we, I take my elderly mother with me twice a year to Masjid Al Aqsa. I take my wife with me, I take my children with me. And this is something that all of us should be doing. The first time we visited Masjid Al Aqsa, we had the opportunity to pray Salatul Jum'ah there. And after Salatul Jum'ah, one of the Imams sat down with us.
And he asked us, do you know where you have come? And I said, Masjid Al Aqsa. He says, Naam, هذا Masjid Al Aqsa, لكن هذا بيتكم. هذا بيتكم, he said. Yes, this is Masjid Al Aqsa, but this is foremost your house. This is the house of the Muslim community. It is the house of Allah, in principle. But it's something that the Muslim community globally should be concerned about. You know how we are extremely eager, and we should be eager to visit Masjid al-Haram in Makkah al-Mukarramah, visiting Masjid Nabawi Sharif, Rawdatul Rasul, salawat rabbi wa salamun alayhi wa ala alihi, and we should be. But this should be on that list of priorities. We should be going there and being seen there, even if it means you go there and you're just walking on the streets of Palestine. For the Muslims there, when they see us, not only do they feel that we are not alone, they know they are not alone. And if we are sincere in our cause for the people of Palestine and Masjid Al Aqsa, then we will, inshallah, take our time from our busy schedules, make this part of our schedule. We will take out money from all of the money that we have and make this part of our daily expenditure. We should be sincere in our words and our actions. We should be going out there. We should be walking on the streets of Palestine. We should be praying Salah in Masjid Al Aqsa. We are in such a state. Just before we arrived here, we were in a gathering in Leicester where our community of East Africans, we have our yearly Mawlid. And today was the annual Mawlid of our community. East African Kitama. So in there, when the ulama were asked to speak, I said to all of them, there was 3 of us there, I said to all of them, whatever your topic is, change it. Change it to Masjid Al Aqsa. If we are sincere to the Mawlid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Masjid Al Aqsa should be part and parcel of our concern. If we are sincere to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, if we are sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Masjid Al Aqsa should be part and parcel of our daily concern. This is that blessed land which Allah has mentioned specifically by name in the Quran Al-Kareem. Allah has specifically mentioned this. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam specifically mentioned this land. This land is the land of prophets and messengers. The fact that prophets and messengers stood on that land should be carried on our heads. Many of us, especially the youth, we get very hyped up and we show a lot of emotion when it comes to Palestine, and we want to attend rallies and demonstrations. Just echoing upon what Shaykh Danyaal said. Number 1, take the first step. The people of Palestine are fighting primarily for the house of Allah. Yes, for the masjid. The masjids in your locality, you make sure that they are full. You make sure that you are in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You make sure you're at least up for Salatul Fajr. Those people, those brothers and sisters of ours are fighting to pray Salah in the masjid. We have our masajid, we can't even fill them. It doesn't work like this, does it? Those brothers and sisters are fighting, giving their lives to have the opportunity to sit in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and recite the Quran al-Kareem. Many a time in our own households, the Quran al-Kareem remains on the shelf. The first step should be within. Should be within. Meaning in your own community, in your own household where you live, uphold the deen. Establish your salah. Recite the Quran al-Kareem. Then say to me that you are concerned about Palestine. Wallah, your concern is sincere. Because those brothers and sisters are fighting to live as Muslims in Palestine. Nothing is stopping us from living as Muslims. We all have our ups and downs. We all have our troubles. We all have our trials and tribulations. But it cannot even be compared to the dust on the foot of that young 4-year-old girl who gets slaughtered every single day in Palestine. It can't even be compared to that. Whilst we were there earlier this year, choti bachi mili hame. There was a small child, and she was selling some bread outside Masjid Al Aqsa, selling some bread. And you know how often our mothers When they see small children, they go to small children, say, oh, kitni pyari bachchi hai, such a beautiful girl. So my mother went up to this small child and she said, Chal beti, come on, let me take you home. Come on, let me take you home. La ya mama. She says, no, oh mother, la ya mama. Nay, why? So my mother said, come on, I have a nice house. I live in England. I have a nice house. She says, you have your house. We have Masjid Al Aqsa. Wallahi al-Azim. 4 saal ki 4 saal ki bachchi. هذا حقيقة الحال. هذا حقيقة الأحوال أيها الخلان. This is the reality of the situation. This is the reality of the time. 4-year-old girl reminding us, you have what you have. We have Masjid Al Aqsa. Masjid Al Aqsa, in the end we know, success lies with Allah and His Messenger. We know this. We know this from various transmissions of Ahadith al-Nabawi Sharif, prophetic traditions, that success is with Allah and His Messenger. Along the way to that success, let's make sure that we are written down amongst those people who genuinely made an effort. We were not just people of words, but let's put our words into action. The first thing we can all do, as Shaykh mentioned, Shaykh Danyaal mentioned, Hafidhullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve him, and make the ummah benefit from him, dua. But if your Salatul Fajr is there, then your dua is also there, inshallah. If your Salatul Fajr is not there, where's your dua? वो कौन सी दुआ जो सर रब के सामने झुकने के लिए तैयार नहीं सोचें आप establish your salah and then do dua. Another thing we can all do, keep in mind, this is not a contention between Muslims and Jews and Christians. This is not that. There are Christians who follow whatever they follow, but they are sincere to the cause of Palestine. There's also Jews, Jewish people, not all, some, who are sincere to the cause of Palestine. So let's not make this about Muslims against Jews and Christians. Though Islam is the haqq, Islam is the truth. We know that. This is about us against Zionists. Let's not get the two confused, the two mixed up. Zionism is a way that is not a myth or a legend. I've heard some young Muslims here in Britain say there's no such thing as Zionism. This has all just been made up to scare people around the world. Number one, if you choose to remain in ghafla, in a heedless state, Allah protect you. Get your head out of the clouds and do your research. You will find that this word specifically was mentioned at the time when that blessed land was split up. Look into the Balfour Treaty. Look into it. What happened there? Look into the current situation and who are the people who are saying that we want to establish Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Who are they? And if we as a nation globally are sincere to Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, let's get our priorities right. Let's get our priorities in motion and start practically working towards that which will enable the Muslims of Palestine to regain control of that blessed land, inshallah. Our reliance is upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Success lies with Allah azza wa jal. We know this. Meri binti hai. And I know inshallah this is going to go out on social media and in various ways, either through WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever. Bil khusus, ulama-e karam se meri binti hai. Bartaniya ke ulama-e karam se. Chahe aap Urdu mein bolen, ya Pahari mein bolen, ya Gujarati mein bolen, ya Kachhi mein bolen, ya Arabi mein bolen. लेकिन आप कम अज कम आज से इंशाअल्लाह कम अज कम एक जुम्मा सिर्फ और सिर्फ मस्जिद अल अक्सा के हवाले कर दें. From now onwards, inshallah. At least one Jum'ah a month. दूसरा, अपने खुतबों के अंदर जुम्मे के दिन in your khutbah, make specific mention of Masjid Al Aqsa in the supplication. Number 3, youngsters, those of you who want to do something, take on the advice of Shaykh Danyaal and establish your salah. Establish your salah and do dua, and then in your own respected cities, organize lessons. Yes, organize lessons up and down the country on the history and the importance of the blessed land.
Yes.
This is important.
Yes, very good.
बहुत से नौजवान ऐसे हैं. There's many youngsters. I met 3 or 4 today after the Mawlid, and they said, you know, you all spoke about Masjid Al Aqsa. Which one is it? Is it the one with the gold dome? Yeah, this is our state. And we're passionate about Masjid Al Aqsa. Let's be sincere to ourselves. Let us educate ourselves, then become passionate about the cause. Let us know the cause that we are passionate about. There's no point making a big noise about a cause that you don't even know about. The fact that you've turned up today shows that you are genuinely concerned. Allah make this concern a reality. Allah grant this concern success. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable me and you to be sincere and stand by our fellow Muslims in Palestine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala liberate that land. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve the ulama who are striving for the deen. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagul mubin.